of the exam. Miss Yura clarified that, true to its name, the island of summons was teeming with beasts and spirits. Since a summon is regarded as a weapon for summoners, the exam would assess each student's taming prowess. Considering this, the test's objective was straightforward. They simply had to tame a summon in the forest and bring it back to the beach. After taming and forging a contract, they would be allowed to keep their new summon. The students burst into cheers. Rarely did they get a chance to claim their own beast. While everyone else eagerly rushed into the woods, thrilled to find their new companions, Leo serenely entered the forest. Surprisingly, Eliza followed him from the entrance. The rumors of his victory over Duran had spread rapidly. Seeing him in the summoner class, she felt compelled to greet him. The other notable students in the class observed this interaction keenly. Leo dismissed Eliza with a wave, casually stating that he was simply doing his best. To be dismissed as if she were merely any commoner enraged Eliza. Observing her students from afar, Miss Yura could already discern the pivotal members of her freshman class. Soon after, many students began the task of taming their chosen beasts. None, however, captured Leo's interest. A few students noticed the freshman representative venturing a little too far into the forest. Some secretly hoped for his failure. They imagined he'd miss his chance to tame a summon, earn a 0, and retreat to a crude night major. Ignoring the commotion, Leo pressed onward along the trail, going as deep as possible. His guiding light was the feather he'd seen earlier near the orange tree. Just moments ago, its tip had been badly scorched, yet now, it was in perfect condition. He discovered a clearing deep within the woods. After ensuring he wouldn't be disturbed, he drew forth the Zerdinger fire within him and burned the feather to ashes. A crushing heat surged from behind him. His suspicions were instantly confirmed. Back in Leo's hometown, life had quieted now that her boy had left the nest. Raina was cooking a meal outdoors, one worthy of a Ghibli movie. Even so, she still fretted over her little boy. It was technically his first day of school, so there should have been no need to feel so anxious and tense, right? If Raina could have seen what her son was truly facing, she would have known her worry was not unfounded. She tried to reassure herself. Leo would be fine. He was a strong boy. Meanwhile, that same boy was being engulfed by the most searing heat imaginable. He was surrounded by the flames of a legendary phoenix, one of the 3 great summons. With a voice that commanded flames, the phoenix seemed perplexed. It saw only a mere child wielding the Zerdinger flame. The legendary beast had only appeared after sensing Raina's flame. Hearing his mother's name, Leo questioned the phoenix about how it knew her. It seemed the phoenix had arrived just in time. The legendary beast was remarkably familiar with Leo's mom. It declared it owed Raina a great debt. I am Farina, one of the 3 mystical summons, the elusive phoenix. She properly introduced herself, granting Leo the respect due to Raina's lineage. Leo Plav reciprocated the respectful introduction with his own. He asked Farina to elaborate on her bond with his mom. The phoenix confessed, Leo's mom saved the life of my summoner, Ellen Lunda. Hearing the name, Leo started in surprise. Ellen Lunda was a true hero. The incident occurred while Ellen was clearing a dungeon in Siren. She had lost all her comrades. At that moment, her own life hung by a thread. Then Raina Zerdinger arrived, scorching hot, to save her. Raina was a dignified knight. Yet, in saving the hero, she sacrificed her blazing aura. Had it not been for that event, Raina would have surely claimed the coveted seat among the heroes. It was Leo's first time hearing the full story. Still, his mother always maintained she never once regretted her actions that fateful day. Farina laughed, knowing Raina truly embodied that kind of knight. Leo shifted the topic, asking why a legendary phoenix was in Lumen. Farina sadly couldn't reveal the reason. She too wondered why a young knight had found his way to the island of summons. When Leo revealed he was also learning summoning, Farina felt compelled to examine the boy more closely. Upon sensing a powerful aura within him, an energy far beyond his young age, she burst into laughter. She declared their encounter a matter of destiny. She could finally repay the debt she owed his mother. Farina prompted Leo to extend his hand and grasp her flame. The fire danced across his palm, gradually molding itself into an egg. Within it lay the offspring of a phoenix. Farina hoped that one day, as a formidable summoner, Leo would forge a pact with her offspring. It was unfortunate that another summoner had been designated to receive the egg, yet Farina preferred Leo. When the young man asked if it would be possible to hatch and tame it at once, the phoenix nearly toppled over in shock. Before she could halt his attempt to begin the process, a searing light already engulfed the boy's form. Farina tried to warn him. It was far too soon for such an act. Should things falter, he might even forfeit his life. With unwavering focus, Leo reached the point of no return. Farina was forced to concede. His readiness to defy the impossible, without a flicker of fear, was a trait inherited from his mother. All she could do was wish him fortune. As the egg began to hatch, it seemed only he and the fire within it existed in the world. Leo reached his hand out, captivated by the magnificent blaze. The moment his palm met the small flame, it swelled into an untamed, unstoppable inferno. Leo panicked, snatching his hand away. The intense heat began to stifle his breath. Such was the power of a phoenix flame. This trial, he realized, must be a path for him to grasp the ordeal of the mythical beast. To unleash potent flames, a phoenix must incinerate its own body. This means enduring unbearable agony each day. They exist with burning flesh for an eternity, while continuously regenerating at a staggering rate. Even if only faintly, Leo could now comprehend their suffering. He ceased battling the agony. He embraced the fire instead. It engulfed him completely as he shared the phoenix's torment. The blaze reached its peak, surging wildly around his body. Suddenly, the egg in his hand began to fissure and fracture. Leo opened his eyes. A newfound wisdom, an acceptance for the agony, was etched into his soul. The fire that had seared his flesh slowly gathered around the egg. This greatly accelerated the hatching process. Farina, curious, asked if he had succeeded. He confidently replied that he had. She smiled, hailing him as a true genius for achieving such a daring feat. If a phoenix declares you the world's greatest summoner, you can certainly believe it. Even before the egg fully hatched, Farina was already congratulating the young man for securing a successful contract. The eggshells vanished into ash. What remained was an adorable tiny chick named Fiora. Farina overflowed with excitement, transforming into her human form as she placed her young one into Leo's care. To all appearances, Fiora seemed like an ordinary red chick. Still, she was undeniably cute. By midday, most students had already returned to the beach. Nearly all of them brought back harmless companions, commonly found on the edge of the woods. Miss Yura turned to her associate, Carlo, and inquired about the remaining time for the other students. Those who hadn't returned only had 5 minutes left. As she expected, the only ones remaining were the 4 exceptional students she had noted. From deep in the woods, a rumbling echoed. A giant bear came crashing out, leveling trees and anything in its path. Perched on the back of the imposing beast was none other than the scruffy Chen Xia. She had managed to tame an aqua bear cub, destined to be her potential knight. That was an impressive feat. Her entrance was quickly eclipsed by the darkness that enveloped her tamed beast. The reserved student secured a shadow crow as his summon, and was now gathering aura, riding one of its talons all the way to the beach. Even renowned summoner lineages would struggle to tame a shadow crow. He had only succeeded in taming one, though a full contract wasn't yet forged. Still, he met Miss Yura's expectations. He had exceeded all requirements. A minute later, students began gasping in astonishment at the sight of a pristine white serpent slithering onto the beach, with Eliza riding on top. Eliza arrogantly declared